I'm Davi, and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. So today's video was a requested video, so thank you so much to this person. Thank you for requesting this video. If you are new here, I am a fourth-year computer science student with a minor in cognitive science, and I'm currently in the process of applying for full-time jobs. So I've been making a lot of videos on leak code and practicing code like that, but I'm also going to be doing this video for answering behavioral questions. Also, thank you so much for 500 subscribers. I really appreciate it. I am so excited to just continue to grow and to be able to impact more people. Just thank you so much to everyone that likes my videos, watches my videos, joins the Discord, follows me on Twitter, comes to this Twitch stream. Just like thank you to every single person. And I just wanted to say that as well. So I think that behavioral questions are very interesting because it's like kind of just like personalized to you. And I personally think I do really well on behavioral questions. I think that I can like discuss and talk about myself, not in like a conceited or arrogant way, but I can definitely like convince you of something, which I think is like the most important part of behavioral questions. So without further ado, let's just like get right into the video, honestly. So I will be answering these questions on this site called The Muse. I haven't read the questions yet, but I will be splitting this video into I think 5 videos. So I'll be answering 6 questions in each part of the video. 1, not to make the video too long, and 2, being that would be a lot of information for one video. I will be linking this link down below so you can practice using these behavioral questions as well. And I think that behavioral questions are very just like generalized for everyone. I don't think there's like specific behavioral questions for computer science people unless like teamwork and stuff like that, which I think this thing goes through. I'm not too sure. I try not to read the questions so I can try to answer the questions as honestly and just like off the whim like I would in an interview. And so before I start answering questions, I think the most important part for answering behavioral questions is making stuff up if you don't know it. These people don't know your lives. If they're asking you about a scenario and you literally have never lived through that scenario, make it up. Literally make it up. Be like, oh, my cat Tom and my best friend Jerry. Like, no, I did have a cat Tom, but like I don't have a best friend named Jerry. Like, they don't know you. They don't know your life. They're just trying to understand a little bit more about you and how you work. So if you encounter an interaction or a question that you just like literally have no idea, make it up. Make it up. And so that's my number one tip. But honestly, let's just like start getting into these questions. So there are 6 sections: teamwork, client-facing skills, ability to adapt, time management, which I'm awful at, communication, and motivation and values. So in each video of this 6-part series or 6-part interaction, I'll be answering one question from each section in each video. So the way that I'm going to be answering these questions is I'm going to read it out first, and then I'm going to give myself time to like think on the whim, and then proceed to answer the question as I would honestly answer it if I was being interviewed. All right. So the first question is, talk about a time when you had to work closely with someone whose personality was very different from yours. Okay. So thank you for this question. I think this is a very important question, as teamwork is really important and not everyone is like you. And the first thing that comes into mind was when I was in my sophomore year and I was in my second class of computer science. We had to work closely on a project. It was about 3 or 4 other people. And I vividly remember this one girl was just literally challenged everything that I said. I would say, for example, I think the way to solve this problem is to do X plus Y. And she'd be like, why would you do X plus Y? Why would you not do Y plus X? And I was like, I mean, in that example, it'd be the same thing. And she would just like, and it would literally be something as trivial as that. And she just challenged me, everything that I said, to the point that I literally didn't want to talk. I didn't want to talk to her. I didn't want to talk to everyone else, because it's like, why are you arguing with me when we're literally getting to the answer and we're getting the same thing, you know? And it got to the point that like, I felt like she was like competing with me for everything, because it was also the time where I was applying to internships and she was also applying to internships. And so she was like, oh, look, Davi, you're out here. I got Google. And I'm like, okay, cool. And she was just like, was very, very aggressive. And so I realized that, I had to put my feelings to the side and was like, okay, we need to finish this, project that we're given, and we need to, continue forth and do all of these things. And I called her out as well. I think it's important to hold people accountable. And I was like, why are you continuously challenging everything that I say when we're getting to the right answer? And nothing came from that, but we were able to, she kind of stopped challenging everything that I said. and we were able to finish the task at hand, finish the project, and do well in the class, I'm no longer friends with her for various reasons. But that is the scenario that comes into mind most vividly for me, is this girl just constantly challenging everything that I said and just was just being loud and just rude, honestly. And I'm just like not that person. And I think it is important to challenge what people say, in projects and stuff like that, but not to the point that like I literally said anything and she would just be like, no, you're wrong, And I think that's just like a little bit rude. But I try to be patient and to be kind, because I don't know what she was going through, if she was going through anything at that time. So yeah, I just try to be my best person and to do, try to be my best person and do the task at hand. Okay, cool. That's basically how I would answer that question. All right, next question. Describe a time when it is especially important to make a good impression on a client. How did you go about doing so? Okay, this is kind of a weird question because, I don't really do clients and stuff like that, but let's get into it. So when I was in my freshman year of college, I worked at the hotel that was on campus, and I was essentially a waiter. And I just remember that they had us wearing, like button-down shirts and bow ties, and we had to like make really, really good impressions on everyone, because I was like serving with the football players at my school, which is really, really big. I would like also serve the president of the entire university, and that was just also just like really important. And so something that I especially did was I tried to be, calm and cautious with everything that I said and everything that I did, because like a simple mishap could just like ruin the reputation of the hotel, for specifically like the president of the university, and then also a football player just like being upset and it's just like reporting me or like my position or like the people to higher up and managers and stuff like that. So I tried to be very kind. I tried to be cautious with my words. I tried to be very adamant about everything that I was doing. I tried to get their drinks on time, get their food on time, clean up on time, ahead of schedule almost as well. To make the good impression for even myself as a person, because sometimes the people that I was serving would communicate with me and they would want to know my name, what I'm studying and stuff like that at the university. And so I was like, holding more of just like, it was more than just me, myself, like Daviel giving an impression. I was also, giving an impression of like the hotel service itself. And so that is just like the time that comes into mind, was just like serving these important people at this hotel. Boom. That's number 2. All right, number 3. Tell me about a time when you were under a lot of pressure. What was going on and how did you get through it? I actually love this question. Okay, so I think this is a beautiful, beautiful question, specifically because the immediate first thing that comes into mind was applying for internships and interviewing, as I am doing right now. And I vividly remember where I was applying to this one company that I really wanted. I really wanted the internship. I really resonated with the values of the company, and I just really wanted to work for them. And so when I was I had passed the first round, and I was on to the second round of interviews, and this was in person. And it was my first in-person interviews where I was trying to write code in front of them and like talking through my thought process with a whole software engineer at already the company that I wanted to work for. And when I tell you that I was just absolutely freaking out, I was riddled with anxiety and stress. I just have never been more stressed in my entire life than I was maybe 20 minutes before I started that interview. And it was a lot. I was just like almost crying, and I was just really, really stressed out because of how much I wanted this position and how much I wanted to, give a good impression of myself and know that I am smart and I'm educated and I know what I'm doing. But I was just stressing out. And so it got to the point where I called my best friend and I essentially told her, could you please hype me up? Like, I am someone that thrives on positive reinforcement and positive affirmations. And I just knew that, like, her telling me, yes, Davi, you're smart, you're beautiful, you're educated, you're the absolute best person, would just, like, go through that. And her telling me all of this really just helped me, calm down and feel better. And then I also got up and went in front of a mirror and I started yelling at myself. I started yelling at myself all of these positive affirmations, like, you are the smartest person. You've already passed this first round. So they know, that they want you. You know that you're smart, that you're beautiful, that you're intelligent, and just all of these positive things. I was just screaming at myself, and honestly, it made me feel a lot better. My anxiety went down significantly. I was less stressed. I felt more calm. I felt ready to tackle the interview because I did study for it. I studied a lot for it, and so I knew that I was intelligent enough to do the work that they were going to put in front of me, and I did. I did really well in that interview. I went on to the next round, and so that is just something that this question really resonates with me because I think it was really important. To understand myself and how I go through a lot of pressure and stuff like that, and now I have a few strategies to, get over that and get over myself being in a lot of pressure. Boom. Next question. Time management, which I suck at. Tell me about a time you had to be very strategic in order to meet all of your top priorities. Okay. So I'm going back to the same time period of when I was applying to a lot of interviews this last year. I was also taking 15 credits and I was also working a job on campus. So it was really a lot of things going on. I was trying to balance my schoolwork. I was trying to balance interviews. I was trying to balance working. And I was also trying to balance just, and I was also trying to balance just, self-care and just things like that. I'm very passionate about video games, and I really think it is important to play them because it's that time for me to de-stress and, have that self-care moment. And at least that is what it is for me. And so something that I did, I think planners are very important. I use Google Calendar, and I also have a physical planner that I use that helps me keep on track of all of the things that I need to be doing. I also have my phone where I have set reminders and other things like that to help me keep on top of everything that I did. When I was applying for interviews, I had an Excel spreadsheet of all of the companies that I had applied to, the links, the interview due dates, where the interview was, and just a lot of things like that. And so I was very intentional about all of the things that I needed to do and tackle for the day. I realized that blocking certain times periods was not the most effective for me, at least, saying that, wake up at 8 a.m. I'm going to eat breakfast. At 9 a.m. I'm going to do this. That wasn't most effective for me, and it kind of stressed me out. So I didn't do that. I just set out bullet points for things I needed to do, and I would just go forth and tackle them in my own space and in my own time. So that was the thing that was the best for me, was just managing all of my time and scheduling things. And I also think it's very important to have people and accountability partners as well within all of that. Because, for example, my best friend is very, very meticulous on how she plans. She just has this whole planner and is all color coordinated and all of this great stuff. And during that time period, I was taking all my classes with her. So I knew that I had someone that I could depend on to help me keep on track. And also knowing that, we both have this project, that's due, that we need to, set aside time to do it. And so essentially that is how I kept myself accountable and got everything done that needed to be done. Okay. These questions are kind of like... All right, next one. Give me an example of a time when you were able to successfully persuade someone to see things your way at work. Ooh. So I think this is a good kind of interesting question because, it can seem very difficult to persuade people to do things one way when they've been doing something, another way their entire life. And so the example that comes into mind, a couple summers ago, I worked at a movie theater as a chef. It was like a dine-in movie theater, so I was a cook essentially. And I just remember one time that I was tasked on the line for making pizzas that day. And I was sitting there and I was telling them, okay, why are we... And during this time when around 6 to 9 p.m. was just extremely busy because that is when a lot of people, decided to go and watch movies during that time. And I just remember that I was trying to work ahead of time at 4 or 5 p.m. I was trying to make the pizzas in pre-made already. Because there's only 4 or 5 pizzas that were available at the movie theater, and so I just remember trying to just get a bacon sheet tray and just making the pre-made pizzas already, and so when they order it, I can just take it off the tray and put it directly into the oven to make it. And I just remember that one of the managers was telling me that I wasn't allowed to do that, and I was just like, but why? And she was like, well, our food is made to order. You need to make it the order minute that they order it. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. But also, we'll be sitting here and there's only me at this one station having 50 orders in front of me and also have to do it in a timely manner. There's just no way that I can, make all these pizzas, these quesadillas and all of this stuff efficiently in that amount of time And then if I don't, you're going to get mad at me, right? That I'm taking 20 minutes to make an order, but also I'm, one person. And she was like, okay, that makes sense a little bit. And I'm like, right. Like, so if I'm just making, 4 or 5 pizzas for each like variety that they had ahead of time, and I know that they're going to be made because, people like pizza and they're going to, order pepperoni and cheese and stuff like that. It makes sense, for me to already have it pre-made. And so now it takes the timeline from, okay, this order just popped in and now, I have to spend 2 minutes making the pizza and then putting it in the oven. I'm now saving you and, the customer 2 minutes. And she's like, okay, that makes sense a little bit. But then I also tried to convince her that, like, it's still made to order and it's still fresh, because I'm not like, making this pizza a week in advance, to put in the oven, or even a day in advance. It's literally an hour or two, and it's in a refrigerator. The ingredients are in a refrigerator, and the pizza would be in a refrigerator. So like them, both of them already made in the refrigerator would be almost equivalent. She was like, yeah, no, that makes sense. And so me like describing that to her, she allowed me to do that. And now like almost everyone in the theater did it as well. They would like pre-make food like an hour or two before the rush time, so that we were able to get the food out to the customers in a more timely manner. And so that is just like something that resonated with me, and I hope that they still do that, because I no longer work there. But I hope that the way that my thought process and all of that helped them with all of the things that they were doing. All right, cool. The last one. Tell me about your proudest professional accomplishment. Okay. So this past summer, I had the amazing opportunity to intern at Nike. And I just like vividly remember that this was like one of the first jobs I ever had hands-on with actual software engineering. And it was really, really awesome, because the code that I was producing was like actually like, going into production and actually helping Nike as a whole and everything that I was tasked with. And I thought that was amazing. And my proudest moment throughout that entire internship was the day that my code actually worked. It may seem like kind of trivial, but I was like working on something for about 2 weeks, and it just like, I just couldn't understand it. My manager was like, yeah, I know, I understand that you're struggling. And my mentor was like, you can definitely do this. And they were like, helping me through it. But like the moment that I, pressed like the play button and it ran and it successfully outputted when I wanted it to output, I was ecstatic. I was screaming. I was running around my room. I was just like, I called my mentor and I was like, I finally did it. Let's go. I was just like so excited. And it's just like something that I would probably remember for the rest of my life, because it's probably my first successful accomplishment, professionally as a software engineer. And I'm just so excited to, have even more of those moments of when your code actually works. And so that is the accomplishment that comes into mind for me. All right, boom. And we are done. All right, y'all. So I answered 6 questions within here, and I will answer all of them in different parts. So please look forward to that. I'll probably put a part a week for the next 6 weeks, so that, it's kind of spaced out, and also you can go through and look at the specific questions that you want to look at. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really, really appreciate it. I hope that you got some information and helpful tips on how to answer the questions for yourself. And yeah, thank you so much for watching the video again, and I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day.